Hey there, all you aspiring supervillains. So the supervillain life is not very safe. It's full of risk, full of danger. It's part of what we love about it, right? But in a life that doesn't feel that safe, you're going to need to do a lot of thinking, figuring out how to defeat your nemesis, or maybe doing some work on your latest death ray. And it's really nice to have somewhere that feels safe, that feels like home to work on things like that. Which is why today I want to talk about something really important, which is layers. Layers are really important. Having a place where you can work on your own things, where you're in control, it's awesome. Layers are great. And when we think of layers, we think of kind of three main types of layers, the three classics. First is a space layer. That can be a satellite, a space station. It could even be a moon base. Moon bases are really cool. If you've made it to that point where you could do one, that's awesome. The second one of my personal favorites, is underwater. Underwater layers are awesome. You can naturally have sharks all over the place, because of course you want that. It's difficult for people to find, because they can't see it. It's pretty cool. Underwater layers are really nice. And finally, there's the ever-popular tropical island. Tropical islands are a very commonly seen layer. Think The Incredibles or something like that. It's really nice because it can help henchmen come work for you. Right? Henchmen might not be as willing to go live on the moon for a while. Living on a tropical island makes recruiting minions that much easier. But what do all of these have in common? Well, they are expensive. They cost a lot of money, not just to build, but also to maintain and to get there. Just traveling to these places is going to take tons of money, tons of time, tons of effort, which is why I don't think they're suitable for a starting supervillain. So today I'm going to give you some guidelines in getting your own lair. And to remember these, you can just remember the handy acronym SSFNZ. Alright, so SSFNZ, as makes it easier to remember, is actually split up into three things, and the first two go together. The first two S's are start small. It's great that you want to own your own tropical island, complete with laser to destroy anybody that comes nearby, and preferably a volcano. I know that there's not as many active volcanoes as would like, but really you should get a volcano. But before you get to that point, you really need to start small. Something that you can realistically manage, especially with your current financial situation. It's going to take a while before you can start robbing banks and holding governments hostage for money. So you got to start small, something that you can handle, that you can afford. So underground is really easy. Anything that you can get to easily and afford to furnish. Speaking of which, that's the next part. FN stands for focus on the necessities. When you focus on the necessities, it makes your life much easier because you don't need to worry about all these things that you will not actually use. What is your focus? What's your theme? For some people, it might be science. For some people, it might be just being crazy, I guess. For some people, it might be the arts, right? You might be kind of extra dramatic. I don't know. You figure that out. That's part that's part of you becoming your own supervillain. And so, for instance, if you're a science guy and you're focusing on, death rays, pew 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 pew, then maybe you want something. You want a lab, somewhere where you can get these materials and work on your death rays. If you're just crazy, maybe you'll worry a little bit more about the decor, right? How it looks, right? Something like that. Don't spend a lot of time and money getting a big lab if you don't think you'll use it. Or for instance, if you're not doing death rays, but you're doing potions instead. You're coming up with potions and poisons and all sorts of stuff. Focus on that. Kind of a chemistry section. Alright, so that's the FN in systems. Next, let's move on to the last S, which might be the most important, which is secrecy. Obviously, your lair shouldn't be public. You need to have a lair that you can get to easily, and other people will not be able to find. It might be somewhere public. If you own a large company and your lair is inside your office building, great. That's a really great start, really great idea. It's accessible, it's close, you've got plausible deniability, so if anyone wonders why you're there, that's where you work. That makes sense. But it needs to be secret. There are several ways to do secrets, but the most important thing to focus on is the secret entrance. How do you get in? And, of course, how do you get out? Because if you are going into some building somewhere at all hours of the night, someone might see that and think, that's curious, I wonder what's happening. So let's look at some different secret entrances. One classic is from another room. You can play some keys on the piano, do a little dun 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 dun, and then the door opens. You might do something else. You might, pull a certain book out of a bookshelf, always a classic. Pull a book from a bookshelf, creak, and then it opens. Awesome, another great idea. But whatever your entrance is, however that works out, you need to have a way to get in and then to get out where people will not be suspicious. So I hope these are some good pointers. If you start to forget, just remember, systems will solve all your problems. You're welcome for coming up with such a handy and easy to remember acronym. Of course, there's a lot more details we can go into, which we will in future videos. But with these in mind, starting small, focusing on the necessities, just what you need, and some place that's got a good secret capabilities, you can keep secret, keep safe, you're going to have a great start for becoming the supervillain that you know you can be. Thanks. See you next time.